Welcome to the key leg of our round-the-world flight. As mentioned, we called it the Monster, and it had dominated our lives for several months. Crossing the North Pacific means flying 1,800 nautical miles from Obihiro in the north of Japan to Adak Island at the western end of the Aleutian arc.
Obihiro Tower, hello, November 228, Romeo Mike.
November 228, Romeo Mike, Obihiro Tower, go ahead.
November 228, Romeo Mike, the Mooney on the apron, Alpha stand number 5. Request taxi and clearance.
November 228, Romeo Mike, good morning, taxi, Obihiro using runway 17, window 207, QNH 2974, temperature 20, taxi turning point, runway 17.
November 228, Romeo Mike, taxi to holding point, runway 17, QNH 2974.
We had waited a couple of days for the right weather conditions to tackle this flight. Some reliable tailwind, no icing en route, and acceptable conditions at our destination. The first day that combined these conditions was Friday, June 6, 2025, and it would be a very special Friday. Of course, we had to file a flight plan for the Monster, but we didn't know which route from Obihiro to Adak we should file and how to specify it. We had some experience from several previous Atlantic crossings, but that doesn't necessarily help with the Pacific, and at least the chart looked somewhat different. There were airways in the Anchorage Oceanic FIR that would suit us, but nothing in the Fukuoka FIR. As we couldn't find any information how a flight plan for this route had to look like, we filed a route avoiding Russian airspace, along coordinates for the first part and along airways for the second. But we were a bit worried how that would work out.
November 228, Romeo Mike, we're ready to copy.
November 228, Romeo Mike, say again.
November 228, Romeo Mike, ready to copy clearance.
November 228, Romeo Mike, standby for coordination.
Standing by, November 228, Romeo Mike.
November 228, Romeo Mike, runway 17, line up and wait.
17, line up and wait, November 228, Romeo Mike.
November 228, Romeo Mike, and clearance.
November 228, Romeo Mike, go ahead.
Romeo, no correction. November 228, Romeo Mike, clear to Adak Island Airport via Obihiro reversal 8 departure, flight plan route. Maintain flight level 190, squawk 2, correction, squawk 6155.
We were really happy to get cleared flight planned route, so ATC seemed to agree with our plan.
November 228, Romeo Mike is cleared to Adak. Obihiro Romeo 8 reversal departure, flight plan route, flight level 190, squawk 6155.
November 228, Romeo Mike, lead back is correct, and window 18029, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 17, November 228, Romeo Mike.
Flying from Hokkaido to Adak meant crossing 6 time zones and the dateline eastwards. In other words, at the time of our departure in Japan, it was 6 hours later in Adak on the previous day. Due to the airport opening times in Obihiro, we could not do the 10-hour flight during the day. As we wanted to avoid a night landing at Adak, we departed Obihiro shortly before the airport closed and flew through the night for the first hours. We departed Obihiro at Friday 9 p.m. local time, which meant it was Friday 3 a.m. in the morning in Adak, so we would arrive early afternoon local time with many hours of daylight left. Soon after takeoff, we were handed over to Tokyo Control and got a reroute.
November 228, Romeo Mike, Tokyo.
November 228, Romeo Mike, go ahead.
November 228, Romeo Mike, rate change is needed. Report time ready to copy.
Ready to copy, November 228 Romeo Mike.
November 228 Romeo Mike, clear to Alpha Delta Kilo via present position, direct nano. Direct India Sierra Mike Alpha Victor. Direct 44 North 150 East, then right front route.
November 228 Romeo Mike Nano, then Isthmus, then 44 North 150 East, and then flight plan route Romeo Mike.
November 228 Romeo Mike, up to bucket flight 22, maintain control 190.
Climb and maintain 190, November 228 Romeo Mike.
This meant a small detour from our flight route. We assumed that they wanted us to stay further away from Russian airspace.
November 228 Romeo Mike, radar service terminated, scope 2000, contact Tokyo, primary frequency 6655, secondary frequency 8915.
HF is required for this flight. We had a Velcroed installation with a ham radio, an antenna tuner and a wire antenna that we could crank out of the pilot's window. Of course, we had tested the installation beforehand, back home and also on the flight to Japan during daylight. Still, we were not sure how this would work during the night over the Pacific. It turned out to work surprisingly well, and at every filed waypoint we had to give a position report to Tokyo Radio. Here is an example.
Tokyo Radio, November 228 Romeo Mike, position.
November 228 Romeo Mike, Tokyo, go ahead.
November 228 Romeo Mike, position 45 North, 152 East, time 1434, flight level 190, estimating 46 North, 155 East, time 1516, and 47 North, 158 East is next.
November 228 Romeo Mike, confirm estimate 46 North, 155 East, 1516. Is that correct?
That is correct, time 1516.
Tokyo, Roger, thank you.
After 4 hours in the dark, we saw the first light followed by a very slow sunrise. Although we were still less than halfway through the flight, this gave us a huge relief and moral boost. After 6 more hours, we were in contact with Anchorage Center and descended into Adak.
November 228 Romeo Mike, established in the hold 9,000 feet.
November 228 Romeo Mike, Anchorage Center, Roger, cross Wonock at or above 9,000, cleared ILS Zulu, approach Adak Airport. Over Wonock inbound, change to advisory frequencies approved, report cancellation, fly farthest frequency.
We had arranged a drum of avgas at Adak, but there was one more thing that made life complicated. Adak is no port of entry, and CBP, the US Customs and Border Protection, is not present there. Of course, we had contacted them long before we left home. It was quite an effort to find the right contact persons, but we managed. They told us that we would only be allowed a tech stop in Adak, which means land, refuel and continue to Dutch Harbor right away, where we would be cleared by a CBP officer. Dutch Harbor, 440 miles east of Adak, is not an easy airport to land at. Even in the best of weather you have to know what you're doing when you fly there, but weather is poor there most of the time. This is why the monster got a little friend, the 3-hour leg from Adak to Dutch and the landing there.
Adak traffic, November 228 Romeo Mike, Mooney, position Tiku, 7,300 feet for the ILS Zulu 23 Adak.
Another challenge of this monster flight was getting information on the weather at Adak. An automated METAR is about all you can get. There is no TAF, no weather radar and not even satellite IR, as it is too far north. So all you have before takeoff is the numerical models shown in windy or some such, and that doesn't give you a very comfy feeling. The fact that the island is very remote and there is no reasonable alternate doesn't help either.
November 228 Romeo Mike, testing IFR.
In the end, the cloud base was around 2,000 feet and the wind was light, so we were happy to face quite good conditions at the end of this 10-hour flight.
Gear
Is down.
mixture,
Is rich.
prop,
Full forward.
flaps,
flight
full.
und Airspeed.
Yeah, 85.
Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday, I'm in love. Saturday, wait. Sunday always comes too late. Friday never hesitate. I don't care if Monday's black.
Ja, willkommen in Adak.
Willkommen in Adak.
Adak traffic, Mooney 228 Romeo Mike, runway 23 vacated Adak.
That's what he told me. So if you would put that
Our F-gas drum was prepared as expected and we could refuel right away. Unfortunately, our cell phones didn't work, so we could not call the CBP officer or do anything else.
if it's going, okay?
Some friendly local pilots showed up and helped us. They gave us their phone to call CBP and helped us check the weather in Dutch. Clouds were rather low, but we learned that this was just a normal Alaskan summer day and we couldn't expect better weather the next day. So we decided to continue to Dutch, VFR below the clouds.
Adak traffic, Mooney 228 Romeo Mike, taking off runway 23 Adak.
We put on our survival suits again and tackled the monster's little friend. In the beginning we had a ceiling of about 2,000 feet. Unfortunately it got lower as we approached Dutch Harbor after 2.5 hours. All our video cameras had died when we reached Dutch Harbor. We put all our concentration into the approach and landed safely on runway 31. We had made it and were incredibly relieved. We had circumnavigated more than half of the globe. To get home again, continuing east was now shorter than turning around. We showed up for dinner around 10 p.m. local time that Friday night, shortly before the kitchen closed. The cheeseburger and after landing beer was the best we ever had. We had defeated the monster and its little friend on a 40-hour Friday.